Without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Eddie Song.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm not going to sing, so relax. I was just here earlier this week for George Benson, so it's very ironic that I stand here talking to you guys when I should be photographing you guys. So anyway, thanks for having me. I just want to thank the good folks at Halogen Foundation for inviting me to speak, and especially Martin and Ivy. Thanks. My topic today is to tell you how I decided to take the bold step from the first half of my life as a corporate head honcho and going into the second half, growing a beard and doing some fun stuff and also helping people. So the first half of my life was about gathering nuts, building my wealth, and the second part, probably giving it away and helping others and have a good time doing that. Next. My topic is a fun one, top 10 hits to reflect what I do in the music world, top 10 hits, and equipping yourself for the what's next. The first slide is our one thing, and there's a gift in all of us, and it is my topic today to tell you that every one of us is special. But I'm going to do something now. Next slide, please. This is one of my favorite shots that I took, not of a rock star, but it's about the one thing. I want all of you to put your right hand up and point to the sky. I want you, your right hand, put to your heart and press it a bit. You don't put at your kidney, your heart, not kidney. Just kidding. Don't look, just kidding. What I want to do is, in your time, there's something inside here that's very different for all of us. I found my calling, and it's in art, and it's rock photography, very different. But I want you to know in your quiet time that to explore what's inside, okay? All right, thanks. Okay. Small minds think about things. Great minds think about ideas. Think about that. Talent hits the target no one else can hit. Genius hits the target no one else can see. Genius hits the target no one else can see. Can you think of anyone who had done that? Did someone say Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs. He doesn't need focus groups. He knows in his heart what consumers need. I'll come back to Apple later on. Next, please. Quiet time is very important. I'm talking to you as if I'm talking to a younger Eddie Sung in the audience many years ago who did not know all this, but having gone through life, this is what I would tell him in the audience, and you guys also. The second thing I want to say is quiet time is very important. This is a very noisy world these days. iPod, iPad, texting, Facebook, Twitter. If you need to know the journey ahead, you need to find yourself. Very important. So you got to go deep within yourself. Only you know. They say meditation is the Sunday of the mind. Some people say, oh, 24 hours a day, not enough. But I tell you, think about this. 24 hours is packets of 8 hours times 3. Think about it. Dividing into 8 hours, first 8 hours you sleep. Second 8 hours you go to school or you go to work or whatever. The last 8 hours, what you're going to do is you got to do something for yourself. That's where you make your legacy. Think about that. 8 hours times 3. Next. The third thing I want to tell my younger self in the audience is always sugarcoat what you say to others. You may have to eat your words later. So basically, be nice to people and remember God has given us 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. Speak less and hear more. Next. I got 2 kids, and the lessons I tell them is there are 3 important words. Keep in mind. Please, thank you, and sorry. Please is very easy because you need something. Oh, please give me a raise. Please. So it's very easy to say that. Once you get it, it's a bit harder to say thank you. Thank you so much for a kind service and stuff. And even harder is saying sorry. That means you admit you're at fault. So the 3 words is something that I want to always impart on to my kids. Next, please. The 4th, you normally hear, take the road less traveled. But I'm saying to you now, take the road not traveled. Role models are great. Have a lot of role models, but role models, they are not you. Geniuses are sometimes just normal beings. The only difference between them and you is they have found their one thing in life and they decided to go for it. So it's important when you find yourself, go to school, be educated, because that's very, very important, but you got to follow your dream. So that's important. I love this saying, do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and lead a trail. Go where there's no path and leave a trail. Be always a leader and not a follower. I guess that's why we are all here today. To be a leader, set the trend, and go for it. Next, please. Solve your own problems by solving others first. It's a very interesting world we have, where we think of others first. That should be the way. And when you help others, help this guy, help that guy, suddenly you realize, hey, what problem do I have? I got a problem. You forget. So you focus outside yourself. I want to tell you about this closed palm thing. When you close your palm and you're too tight with the money, no money goes out, but yet no money goes in. So it's very important that you need to open up. So at least to help others, and because of that, others will help you in return. It's like a house that's closed up. All the windows are closed. You open one window, a little wind comes in. But you open 2 windows, the air will come in and goes out stronger. Next one. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. There's this story about this guy climbing the mountains to see Guru up on the hill. He goes up to the old guy. He says, "What is the purpose of life, sir?" "What? How long did you take to see me?" "Oh, 5 years climbing the mountain." "Why you waste your time? Have a life of purpose. Help others." So the guy, "Okay, sure." So he went down and helped others, and soon he realized that's the purpose, helping others. That's what I'm doing in the second half of my life. So And next one. This is my favorite. Being from the corporate world, right? Be nice to people on your way up. You might meet them again on your way down. So it's always nice to be humble, especially in the corporate world. Just always lend a helping hand. And if your boss sees that, guess what? You'll be promoted, and soon you could be the boss. The sixth one. Next, please. Live like tomorrow's your last day. Give important jobs to busy people to do. Don't give it to the idle ones. Okay? Always go the extra mile. What I've done since I retired, I published 3 books, have a website, I started my own gallery, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of things that's on the list, but I'm, ticking them off bit by bit. And always be thankful for what you have, rather than what you don't have, or what, even worse, what you don't need. So always make that list. Next one. This another great one. If you want something you never had, you've got to do something you've never done before. And always strive to have that something you never had. And then it'll be exciting. Now, the reason why I so-called took the off-ramp from the corporate highway to do what I do is basically a few factors. One is 9/11. So I retired in 2002. That's the start of my transition from the first half of my life to the second. And the other, I have young kids that got born. And the third important thing, that the one thing I always had when you press against your heart, is I have this photography gift that I know is somewhat world-class. It's not just in Singapore, but I wanted to show the world what I can do in rock photography. And 2 years later, I won the award, Lucy Awards in New York, so-called the Oscars of photography. I won the first, second, and third prize. So that meant something to me from the start. So that was good. And the other thing is, I appeared in the Sony full-page advertisement. When it first came out, my friend told me, hey, your ad came out, I was in Surfer's Paradise. And lo and behold, it appeared on the 20th anniversary of my dad's passing, right on the day itself. So that was a sign, a very profound sign that I was doing I was doing something right, following my heart. Because since I was young, my dad has always been a keen supporter of my art. But he said, hey, son, you're an artist, you're a photographer, go do it. You have daddy's blessing. You don't need to be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever. I said, Dad, you can't make money in Singapore doing art at that time. Maybe now. But anyway, I did my MBA and I did my corporate climb, and I became the global partner at 32 years old for an international consulting firm. And at 44, I said the calling has been strong, and that was just after 9/11. So I said, okay, let's do it. Next one. You only live once. What? What? You only live once. If live well once is enough. I always remind myself, when the game ends, all the pieces go back in the box. There's one thing you need to know. In your dying day, you will never regret spending more time at the office. Never. What you will regret is not spending more time with your children or loved ones. So that's a lesson I want to tell my children. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, the seventh thing, wisdom. We start with with data, and you move up into information, and then you move to intelligence, and then wisdom. Intelligence is about the mind, which is very important today, but I want to impart that wisdom is the heart, which is the instinct, and the head is the intelligence. I have 2 kids, and we impart the importance of education, but we are equally stressing the need for childhood. Childhood is very important. Grow up to be happy, lead a moral compass that's pointing north, and stuff like that. Next, please. When you start out in your life, having your first job, you will be recruited for the knowledge you know, whether it's accounting, engineering, financial, photography, art. But as you move up the corporate ladder, based on what you know, you will probably run a small group of people. And as you get older and more trusted, you run a larger group in terms of management rather than supervising staff. And then you head to the top or self-management. But in red, you see, from knowledge, whatever you do, you need to know about money. Money is very important. A lot of rock stars that I meet in the old days, when they were starting out, they only know music, but in case that they don't know about the money bit, they get ripped off by people. And you see a lot of people during the Lehman crisis or all those kind of financial meltdown, a lot of people trusted bankers, okay? You need to know about the language of money. Next, please. Which is exit strategy. It's easy to buy and sell. Buy low, sell high, very easy. If the stock goes down to 80 cents, very easy, buy lah, okay? But when the stock goes up to 120, time to sell. Is it? Should I wait for 180 or should I wait for $2? And then it reaches 180, okay, let me keep a bit more. And then it goes down to 150. Not so easy. So buying things is easy, selling it is even tougher. So to my younger self in the audience today, this is the most important thing I want him to know. It's not the buying, it's the selling. So it's always the second half that's important. So next one, I touch on buy low, sell high. There is no hot tips, my dear boy in the audience. No hot tips. Because if you know management philosophy, the guy may decide to do something here, have a mergers and acquisition. 1 week later, he may change his mind. But the guy next to him thinks he's going to do something and then move on. All the hot tips going through the people. And then the thing has changed even without them knowing. So be well read. Talk to people. And remember, there are 2 important things in life. One is time and the other is money. When you lose time, it's gone forever. Money, you can make back. Okay? Next, please. Engage. That means when you go through life, it's important to engage with people. What we do, we become. What we are, we do. It's ironic that when in the first half of my life as a corporate head, a lot of people are qualified. They go through life, getting MBAs, being doctors. They go through the corporate motion. But once I go into the second half, I meet musicians, I meet world-famous people. some of them are dropouts, but they followed their heart. They knew what their one thing was, and they went for it. Okay? Some are called geniuses. Okay. Next, please. Talking about genius, this is the actual photo that as a young kid, like those up in the audience, the young ones, this picture is about Walt Disney. Anyone knows about Walt Disney? Okay. The other guy on the left, does anyone know? Salvador Dali. Artist. Okay. Dada. He's an artist. But but what I'm trying to say here is those two are very different. But they are friends. They have things to share with each other. And that's, as a young kid, I say, I want to do that. Okay, next please. This was me last Sunday with Steve Wozniak, the Apple co-founder. We were at Hard Rock Cafe with my family, and that's what I'm talking about, engaging. So many years later, I'm doing that. I was just here a few days ago talking to George Benson, a jazz artist. But in order for me to be able to do that, you got to have something here to engage. And it's stimulating when you talk to a genius like that. And this guy, in the old days, without this guy, Steve Jobs got nothing to sell. This guy did the original Apple computer, stuff like that. So as you grow up, meet great people, be inspired, take what they have, and go and inspire others. Okay? Next, please. And this one, after we met, he tweeted in his account, "Can't miss this with Eddie Sung and his family, blah." So it's a nice feeling to be able for him to remember, oh, this guy, I got to talk to him because there's something there. And we always meet up whenever he's in town. Please, next one. This is the last one, youth. You guys. The first 3 words is you. And the middle is actually a movement, going down and going up. Next, please. There's never a majestic mountain without a deep valley. That's what I'm trying to say. When you start out, don't expect everything to be easy. Even Lady Gaga, when we spoke, she was just starting out. She was suffering at the bars, but she really paid her dues. She was confused which direction she should take in music. She changed a few managers, but she persisted. Okay? So that's the you bit, going down. But when you persist and you believe in yourself, you keep going, there's only one way up. So in the States, I was driving a lot on what I call road trips. So as a college student, I would go just looking at the country, enjoying scenery. I've been to about like 70% of the USA, all over. And when I drove, I like to think about life, because I normally drive in the morning from 12 midnight to, let's say, 7 a.m. But the analogy I want to tell you is, your car screen is a big one. To me, that symbolizes the future, the road ahead, okay? And there's a little mirror above, near your head, small mirror. To me, that's the past, something that you went by already. So you see the difference in proportion. The big windscreen in front is big, so that's the future. Focus on that. The past is important, but it's a small thing. You've done it. You remember those with fond memories. And also, to the side are the windows, which is your current. But don't focus too much, because you get in an accident. Okay? Enjoy the scenery on the side, but keep your mind ahead. The other thing is, okay, good decisions come from experience. Experience come from making bad decisions. Next, please. There are no mistakes, only lessons learned. What I tell my kids, whatever it is, you can make all the mistakes you want, but please learn. So you make 1,000 mistakes, you have 1,000 lessons. And the next one, the journey is the reward, not the destination. Once you reach it, there's always another horizon to conquer. But make sure you enjoy every step of the way. And the only worthy reason you can't do something is when you're dead. Anything else is an excuse. So I want to wish all of you, next one, happy journeys, and I wish whoever, when I was younger, learned from today. 10 lessons.